Okay, so this is the way. I understand this might be hard to look at, and
There
I
is
don't even
no
know if you're
way-
going to believe me.
There's no way planes I've been on look like that. That's the front.
Yeah,
That's the
that's
front.
in front of the wing. They hang out almost 95%.
Sex in the City. Sex in the City. Sex in the City. I grew up in New York. I always felt it was Sex in the City. I never had any doubt. But then I heard about Sex and the City, and I'm like, what? And I asked a bunch of people, did you see this? And I checked with a friend of mine in the business who knows the people who made Sex in the City, the movies especially, and they were very angry when the Mandela Effect came out. And they were very, very angry and not exactly friendly to anybody who said it was at one time Sex in the City. They got mad. I'm not quite sure why they got so mad. That's another thing. We're going to be checking in with the
I've never
Sex in
really
the City
understood
people.
that.
Yeah. Why are they upset? I mean, maybe they think that people are saying they're crazy. But when I found out there was actually some vitriol, some anger coming out of the Sex in the City producer camp, I was curious, and I'm going to continue to look into that. But Sex in the City has so much residual evidence, just like Luke, I Am Your Father is memorialized in George Lucas's company's figurines they made. These little, like, you press the button,
Right.
Luke, I am your father.
Christmas ornament, yeah.
Ornaments, right? Same thing is true with a few other merchandisings like that. So why would people make that mistake? They would not. They wouldn't.
Yeah, I recently told you about the ET with the red hoodie. You say you recall seeing that sometime in the film. He's never in the film with a red hoodie, yet the merchandise is got shirts and keychains and everything.
Right. Why would anybody think that the ET,
Makes no sense.
The ET in my world, in my memory, had a hoodie on? And it was no doubt. It was a weird thing. It was like the ET with a hoodie. So I think at this point right now, the important issue for me, Evan, is to make sure the many, many Mandela effects that are out there, we put them through the fine-tooth comb and we really look at them. That's why I mentioned Jacobian again, because Jacobian did one that you showed me, where he did this breakdown of Forrest Gump. I had no idea. I thought Sex in the City had maybe some of the most merchandise showing Sex in the City all over the world, by the way, not just in America, all over the world. Sex in the City. Until I saw Jacobian's video where he showed how many life is
like a box of chocolate.
Life is like a box of chocolate. How many of those are memorialized in chocolate boxes? And I had no idea. That
Bubba Gump restaurants, the Bubba Gump shrimp restaurants.
I mean, I don't love Bubba Gump shrimp restaurants, but here's the deal. The ad was funny. The commercial was funny. And they memorialized life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get. So
it's all over their merchandising.
Yeah. And again, this merchandising gives me, the documentary maker, the opportunity to go to these people and say, Bubba Shrimp Guy, explain to me, owner, did you not realize you were naming it perfectly? But no, according to the present reality, that's not the line. And then bring it up to these people and see their reaction on camera and let them kind of, deal with it on camera. And I can't wait, because I'm not sure I'm going to tell them exactly what we're going to be asking. I'll tell them the Mandela Effect, and they'll probably go, yeah, people misremember it, and I'll be glad to come on and talk about, my memory of working on the movies or the different things that we're going to be talking to people about. But when I finally get that person on camera, it's going to be, okay, question. What did you think when people started to say Sally Fields? Not Sally Field, Sally Fields. What's up with that strange appearance at the Academy Award? I never saw her do that. And then we ask her about it. We go, so we're going to get really, so if you invest in this movie, you might be investing in something truly historical. I really mean that.
Oh, this has the possibilities of being bigger than I can even imagine. I mean, the Mandela Effect is so huge. There's so much reality residue. It just goes on and on. I mean, I want
to mention one to you, though, that really caught me. And I think
sure.
This might be something, Evan, that you want to get into. I don't think it's necessarily CERN or the quantum computer or a combination of all, or even some demonic, satanic thing occurring. I think it's some kind of combination of kind of things coming to a fore, you know? And so over the last couple of weeks, and I'm not a huge Red Hot Chili Pepper fan, really not, but the last couple of weeks, I have a new car, so I'm kind of like driving this car and I'm playing the radio a lot. It's not a brand new car. It's like, almost new car. And it's like, my radio. I'm playing around my radio. And I started to notice that the Chili Peppers had 2 new songs come out that are very interesting. They have a new album out. They have a tour out. And I was starting to groove on the Chili Peppers. And I kept remembering, I want to listen to Under the Bridge. I love that song. He goes, he says, in the city of angels. I had just moved from New York to LA when that came out years ago. And I really liked it because it kind of made me feel like I was that guy. I'm in this strange town. I guess it's my town now. City of Angel makes no sense on any level, period. And of course, Katie, the lead singer, does sing it live, City of Angels. So what's City of Angel? What is that? I don't even understand it myself. I watched it again recently, and I watched the video, and I was a little bit like, I felt a little weird, like this doesn't make any sense at all. That, again, those are the kind of Mandela effects that freak me out, that I know for a fact on the record, it was City of Angels. And he sings that way now. So he's touring right now. You could see them touring right now around this country and hear him sing it now. So I want to get him backstage and go, hey, tell us the story here. Why'd you have it on the record one way? Wink, wink.
Right. None of these artists have been questioned. I haven't heard. I heard the lead singer to Panic at the Disco. He had a song, and he's was in an interview, and he said, "Yeah, I think it's a Bernstein thing."
He said it's changed.
I want to question your memory on a few things, if that's okay, Bob.
Sure, I'll do my best.
All right. I wanted to first ask you about Village People. Have we talked about the Village People?
No.
Okay. How many Village People do you remember, Bob?
Oh, wow. I'm going to say 5.
Okay. You're incorrect.
6.
But I knew 5 my whole life.
Maybe 6.
So you're in good company. You're in good company. I remember 5. And let me see here. I was going to bring this up. Where are we at?
But I always say, Evan, and I don't know if I'm wrong, but we'll cover this in the documentary a little bit. We all have our proclivities. I may not remember enough about the Village People. We okay? Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're here. I wanted to show you
6. Yeah, okay. I would
the 6 guys.
It was 5 or 6. I was going to go to 6 and 5 was wrong, but okay.
So I remember all these guys' faces. I don't know how well you knew them, but I remember all of their faces.
Not the faces.
But this one guy in the green fatigue, I don't recognize. Yeah, there you go.
Belong there. That's a crazy one. Who is that guy?
I don't know if you knew their faces like me, but I knew all their. Go ahead.
Is that military guy?
Yeah, he's in an army outfit.
That is nuts. That is nuts.
So this is the first time you're seeing this guy.
No, I've never seen him.
Yeah, that's how I was. I'm like, who's this guy? To me, there was only one African American in the group, and it was this lead singer here guy, the biker in the middle.
Yeah.
This guy popped up like in 2016. He just popped up in my reality. I never saw him. He's on all the album covers.
God. It's so interesting in the Mandela Effect, Evan, because I won't know enough to swear, but I know enough that he doesn't belong there.
Okay. So next question. Are you familiar with the song In the Navy?
Yep.
By this group?
Yep.
And there's a part in the song where they chant, or they clap, and then they sing something want you.
I don't know if I'm the right guy to be asking the
Well, I have it here on the screen. I didn't realize it was here. It's here.
We
want you. We want you as a new recruit.
Is that no longer there anymore?
Is that what you recall, or is that
We want you. We want you. We want you as a new recruit. Yes, I do remember that.
you remember that? Well, what they're saying is they want you. They want you as a new recruit.
They want you?
Yeah, they want you.
Who's they?
Yeah, that's a good question.
The
Bob.
government?
Yeah, who's they? I ask that all the time.
Or the fire department?
They
Or the
want
Indian? Or the Indian recruiter? Wait, or wait, or the biker group? The Hells
I don't
Angels
know.
want you?
I thought when I was a kid, they were singing to me, "We want you as a
It
new
is
recruit."
we.
These guys wanted me in their group.
It's not even debatable. It's we want you. We want you. We want you as the new recruit. There is no doubt. That's not even debatable. Is that a Mandela effect?
Yeah, they've always sang "They want you."
God.
It's even "We want you." Like in the image I showed you, it's wrong. That "We want you" is wrong. It's always been
So,
"They want
in other
you."
words, where'd the image come? Go back to the image. Where'd that come from?
The image.
That's a great residual. That's a residual.
That might even be an album cover, Bob.
That is a residual.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to go into this. Like we'll coin it tonight. A residual. A residual. That's what that is. Not a residual, but a residual.
I'm not certain, but I want to say that's an album cover.
By the way, the people invest in the documentary feature, they will not be getting residuals. They'll be getting profit participation. It's not residual. However, these are residuals. Residuals.
Definitely. Yeah.
We want you. It says it right there. What more can I tell you?
Yeah. This is mind blowing.
I love that.
Okay.
I would want to go. And again, Evan, I would want to go in the movie, in the feature documentary. I plan to meet meet up with one of these people you see right here and say, explain to me why we want you would be the way you market that if you never said we want you. I want to see their faces.
These are the things that we've all been wishing would happen for 7 years, Bob. Like someone to go to these people.
Like you're really animated when I hear this, it's like, what?
Okay, let's move on to the next thing that I didn't think you would have been aware of. This is fairly new and blew my mind recently. Are you familiar with Prince and Prince's music?
Yeah, I am. I think I remember the Prince one, but you're going to get me on a little bit of a overload.
This is a new Prince one. Okay. This is a new Prince one. So this is Prince 1999. They say 2000 party over. It's out of time. Excuse my singing. Excuse my singing, everybody.
Okay.
So tonight, something.
We're going to party like it's 1999, right?
Yeah, you got it wrong, Bob.
We're not going to party like it's 1999?
We're not. Can you believe that? I always knew it as we're going to party like it's 1999. Always.
What are we going to do then? What are we doing then instead?
All right. I don't.
Don't play it. Just tell me. I'll believe you.
So tonight I'm going to party like it's 1999 is what Prince always sang. I'm going to party, not we're going to party.
Huh? I'm going to party like it's 1999?
Yeah, I wish I could play it for you right now and get your reaction and I'm going to put it in here. It's I'm going to party and it's just never was. Never, ever was.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, I expect you not to if you're not aware of this. It's absolutely crazy. It was never I'm going to party. That's what he sings in the whole song. It's not like he says
That would have stood out like a sore thumb to a kid my age when that came out. I'm going to be honest with you, man. That would have stood out because it would imply that he's partying. But when we say we're going to party, it's like the world is partying. But I'm going to party makes it sound like you're going to go out and just get drunk yourself. And
here it is here. Can you see this, Bob?
Yeah, I do.
I'm going to party like it's tonight. I'm going to party.
This is why we're making this documentary movie. It's so frustrating.
Tonight, we're going to party. Tonight, we're going to party. So it's both ways.
I made a comment before about Edie's. I think Akitas, they pronounce his last name, from Chili Peppers, the lead singer. Red Hot Chili Peppers. I was trying to bring up the point before where I have just been waking up to the Chili Peppers, not even realizing in my wildest dreams they were Chili Pepper Mandela effects. I didn't know anything about the Angel line. Nothing. And so now I'm kind of being inundated now with a few Chili Pepper ones. So I think the universe is in play here somewhere, like you believe, Evan. There's
Definitely.
something going on here beyond just residual effects that we can prove that something changed. There's something else going on.
Definitely. I believe this is it's an awakening. That's the way I've always looked at it. Everything's on the table, but to me, it's mainly an awakening. That's how I've always viewed it. Okay, I want to keep moving along here. I want to go into, are you familiar? Well, you have to be familiar with Take Me Out to the Ball Game. I know you like baseball,
You're kidding
right?
me, man. This is one you're never going to get me like not to know this one.
Okay, so I heard this song many, many times. I don't know if I ever told you, but I was a bat boy for the Oakland A's.
You did. I was
did
jealous.
tell you that. Okay.
I'm jealous. Very
So
jealous.
you're-
Really, really jealous.
So in 5 years, you probably can imagine I heard this song quite a few times.
in Oakland, of course. Yeah. Right.
In Oakland, right. So I'm going to ask you if you can just give the first few lines of it. I know you're going to say it, and then
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back, for it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. And if anybody says it's different, I'm going to smack them in the head.
nice rendition there, Bob.
No one is going to tell little Bobby sitting there at Shea Stadium in New York. I lived at Shea Stadium. I am a diehard fan. So I probably went to as many games as a bat boy went to. I'm kidding. But I went to so many games. I wasn't like you, a bat boy.
I saw 500 games in like 5
Oh, well,
years.
you beat me probably. But
Yeah,
anyway,
I saw a lot.
I
So
love
here,
your background. Go ahead. Break the news to me. Let me hear it.
can you see this? This is Smithsonian Magazine.
Oh, boy. I'm going to start crying now.
And while I'm talking about Smithsonian, are you familiar with the Smithsonian? You have to be,
Yes,
Bob.
of course.
What's the full name? The Smithsonian.
Oh, my God. I know. It should be called the Smithsonian Institute.
That's how I always knew it, but it's always been
Oh, it's
institution.
institution. I know. I know.
Okay,
And by
I
the
just
way,
had to throw that in there because
that's not the only one. We have a couple more like that. I could show you.
Yeah, different agencies. Yeah, there's a lot. Yep, and they're
I'm going to read
Well-
it now. Take out the ball game. So where is the mistake I made?
okay. So
If I never get back,
there's 3 mistakes.
for the home
that-
team. If they don't win, it's a shame. First one to the
no, it's in the beginning here. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd is what you said, which is always what it was for me and many others. But interestingly, they scratched out to and put with.
Who
so
did
if you
that?
go, I think this is on the Smithsonian. I think this is like an original. I don't know what this is. It's obviously an old piece of paper. And if you go listen,
they're crossing out 2, right?
if you go listen to the 1908 rendition, it's going to say with. The 1908 song says with, not to. But it's interesting, here's 2 scratched out for a with. That's very interesting because I remember 2.
That's
And
weird.
you said 2 when you sang it.
Yeah.
And so then the next thing would be buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. Only Jack because the box says Cracker Jack. It doesn't say Cracker Jacks on the box.
Oh, that's another Mandela effect.
Mandela effect. And
That's
you
another
sang,
one, I know. Yeah.
you sang the S. I listened specifically for
I
that.
love it.
But you did say never. And that's the third thing here that it was always ever for me. I don't care if I ever get back. So
No,
you-
I'm willing to say that one might have been a little bit of my own slanginess. That on the never ever.
that-
I remember
that's fine.
never.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. No, but just the fact that you wouldn't have thought that you wouldn't have added an S here and then put
Ever
2
is not
instead of
even
with
English.
over here.
But the reason why it's not even English. You don't say ever get back. That's ever is sort of like, I don't know, it wouldn't be considered great English. But anyway, I understand what you're saying. And so this one bothers me a lot. The 2 bothers me immensely. I don't know where anybody would say that.
After the show, if you can go, if you go listen to the 1908 rendition, you'll hear them sing, "Take me out to the ball game, take me out with the crowd." It
believe it.
sounds very weird
Oh, I believe
in the
you.
original. Okay,
Lighting-
so
lighting issue. Sunset.
Bob Hope has a song that he, I guess it's sort of like his song, like it's his main song. It's thanks for. Are you familiar with Bob Hope?
Thanks for the memories.
Right. I'm glad you sang it that way, Bob, because that's the way I always knew the song. But it was never thanks for the memories. It was always, no, it was always thanks for the memory. That's it. Go listen to Bob. He never put an S ever on
This
memory.
is going to be a documentary movie to die for. Evan, I have never in my mind or heart or soul ever wanted to make something as much as this. It's growing every day. This has to be made, and whoever wants to get involved, help us. It's almost like a telethon now. Help us. Help us make this movie. No, we're going to get the funding anyway, so we're already locked in with the distributor. But I'm telling you, it would be great to have people on board. We're going to make history. We're going to make history on this. I really do.
Absolutely incredible. I mean, you gave me almost all the answers I was looking for, which were all wrong. How can I do that to somebody?
As a bat boy, you knew that was coming. You knew.
No, I know, but I shouldn't be able to do this to someone. But I'm able to do this to you because I know the Mandela effects. I know you're experiencing this phenomenon.
God.
And that's why we can do this right now.
I'm living this phenomenon.
This is incredible. All right. Are you familiar with this here? Can you see this?
Okay, I gotta do my little zoomy thing.
The creation of Adam?
Yeah. Of course, yes, of course.
Okay, so I'll just show you that. I'm not going to ask your memory on this. I'm just going to show you here. I remember God reaching down to Adam.
Yeah, that's.
But here you see they're kind of on the level now.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're kind of on the level.
Yeah, I wouldn't hang my hat on this one for me, Evan. I'm just being honest with you.
Okay.
I would.
No, but I'll show you my memory. Here's a book called The Reconnection. And this is more how I remember it. God's arm comes down to Adam. He's reaching down. This is how I recall the painting.
I get the downward slope there. I see it.
And I don't see that so much here anymore. It's more
lateral.
reaching over.
That's two buddies hanging.
So that's just something else I wanted to throw out there.
I love your detail, Evan. There's some of your detail and your Mandela Effect issues are very interesting to me. I love it. It's a very interesting detail.
Thank you. Well, that's important because some people say, oh, well, this, that, they just kind of dance around things. No, let's get down to the details. Let's get down to, the facts and the details.
One reason I want the public to understand either whether they're investing in this documentary feature or they're going to just watch it, no one's ever taken the evidence and parceled it together like a courtroom kind of presentation to a jury, to a viewer, to a viewership. We are going to be asking the viewer to stare at this evidence, not just people's memories. And the evidence speaks volumes. But when you combine that with people having their own memory issues on it, it really gets compelling. But I really want people to know we're going to be taking great pains to stay focused on what is residually provable. That unless you want to go into some crazy theory like, George Lucas didn't care. He had a figurine or a little, what do you got? An ornament again, go out. Yeah, it said, Luca, I'm your father. He never said it, but that's okay. And then same things with, the other figurines or Forrest Gump, have a massive amount of marketing of the line. My mom always said life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get. I mean, it's like there's no way people are going to make marketing products and not fix it eventually. I mean, maybe the first year it comes out. It's just craziness. And I can't wait to get into the Coca-Cola and all the other ones that I know personally about. Hey, even Home Depot, by the way. When the company called Loan Depot, there's a company now called Loan Depot. And they do loans, and they're growing apparently.
Oh, okay, a loan. All right.
Everyone, my friends are going, they just copied Home Depot. It's Home Depot. It's not the Home Depot. It was Home Depot. Where you going? I'm going to Home Depot. They never said I'm going to the Home Depot. Where you going? I got to go to Hammer. I got to go down to the Home Depot. I got to go down to Home Depot. I don't know. Maybe I'm coming from
It seems like the update's trying to push its way into you there, Bob, because you're saying that's what happens with people.
No, but I mean it sincerely, Evan. In my world, if you said to me, I'm going to the Home Depot, You sound like someone speaking another language doesn't really know exactly how we say it here. You know, people do that sometimes. They don't know English that well, so they kind of throw in a word. I'm going to the Home Depot. No, you're going to Home Depot. See ya. Get me a hammer when you're there. I don't know.
It was always Home Depot.
I'm starting to lose it on this issue. I know somebody did find a picture. And again, people are going to say, oh, you got to prove it. A photo of Home Depot, just Home Depot. And I do believe there is a Home Depot, the Home Depot that has just Home Depot. So we'll look into that, though. Yeah, we'll see.
Yep, I've seen that as well.
But again, I could go on, and I really care about the ones that are going to get people like me, like you just did it with me. And people see my reaction. I want to see Sally Field's reaction. I want to see David Letterman's reaction. I want to see people that were there and witnessed the Academy Award. I want to get someone who was there. Yes, I was sitting in the front row. And when she said, you like me, you really, really like me, I was like, whoa. They were there.
Right.
So that's where we're going to go with this. We're not going to just let Sally come on, sit in a chair and go, well, you know, people love my career and, you know, they remember things. And, yeah, sorry, Sally, time out, stop right there. Hold that phone and we'll bring in the evidence. Yeah, we hope she'll come. I don't know how many of those amazing people are going to come on, but I hope many will. I do.
That's something I also wanted to ask. I wanted to ask you, hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I wanted to ask you if you could talk about some of the interviews that you want to do, if you could mention some of the people. I mean, you have throughout this. Was there anyone else that comes to mind that maybe you could?
I have a list, and the list is enormous. You can go right down the effects. I mean, whether it be name the effect we're dealing with. James Earl Jones. 2, that's for both, Field of Dreams involved to some degree. And of course, that's Darth Vader, Luke, I'm your father. Do you know how many times in 2 separate interviews, James Earl Jones completely does the line? Luke, I am your father. He even makes a joke on some CBS sitcom. I think it was the one with Charlie Sheen, my father, what is it? I forgot what of the comedies he was in.
Oh, 2.5 Men, I think.
Yeah, 2.5 Men. And he's walking with the character, the second lead in the show. And he goes, what do you want? CNN? This is CNN? Or Luca, I'm your father. He says it as a joke. The writers wrote it in. It's obvious.
I've never seen anyone question James Earl Jones. That would be wonderful if somehow you could question him.
Right. We'll go right down the effects. You name the effect. Forrest Gump. We want Tom Hanks. Any of the ones I mentioned earlier. We want the people in the actual effect. All the musicians. I can go down endless musician acts that we're going to bring on going, did that change? Brian May from Queen. Unfortunately, Freddie's not with us anymore, but we want to go to the guitarist. Brian May, come on.
That would be
Give me
great.
a break. Did you not in the studio go say it for all time of the world? Or what? So what were you thinking in the studio? And even if he says, well, we were thinking about using it and we dropped at the end. No, you didn't. Not according to the album. So what's going on?
So what are some of the A-listers that you're trying to get in this documentary?
Evan, just like every one of the effects we want to look at, all the ones that we care about most, my view is if we were lucky to get David Letterman, Robert Zemeckis, the director of the movie Forrest Gump, Anne Rice talking about the book she wrote, Interview with a Vampire, Kevin Costner talking about Field of Dreams and whether he had a he or they. Of course, James Earl Jones is one of the key people because he was in Darth Vader's suit saying the line, and then he was also giving interviews for years and even cameos on TV shows where he would say, what do you want, CNN or Luca, I'm your father? I mean, it's incredible. The entire Sex and the City cast, Kim Cattrall, Sarah Jessica Parker, Kristen Davis, Cynthia Nixon, Donald Trump. Donald Trump was at an award ceremony naming it. Sex and the City, Sex and the City. Yeah, Donald Trump. Sally Field, of course, because she's, basically from 2 or 3 Mandela effects, if not more, Of course, we have her in, You Like Me, You Really, Really Like Me at the Academy Awards. And then she's also the mom in Forrest Gump, So then, also we have people like Elon Musk, who's talked about we're living in a simulation. Joe Rogan, podcaster, huge podcaster, talking about the Ford logo, freaking out when somebody brought it up. Hey, by the way, Joe, what's with the Ford logo? He says that little thing, that little kind of like
Curly Q
thing, Q, nuts, crazy. And then experts, guys like Michio Kaku possibly coming and talking about this. All the people we know that are Mandela Effect experts. And then, of course, the CERN people. What's going on with CERN? Is that a possibility? The guy behind the quantum computer, Gordy Rose. Gordy Rose, literally the quantum computer, like inventor, in a way, marketer. He makes a TED conference in 2013, predicting we're going to be able to reach into one dimension and pull parts of that dimension into this dimension. He says it like guaranteed. So we don't know the documentary feature that we're doing. We don't know if we're going to be able to get everybody I mentioned. We have a long list of musicians. We've got a list of 40 to 50 A-list celebrities that we want in this documentary about the Mandela Effect. So wish us luck. The more help we get from both investors and everything else helps, because the bigger the budget, the more we can help pay them. They may say, no offense to anybody particular, agent for said actress, said actor, said director. He'll only do the Mandela Effect interview with you, Bob Kiviat, if you pay them $5,000, if you pay them $3,000. Who knows what they're going to say? They're all getting paid in their jobs. They may want to be paid to be interviewed. So that's why we may need money to help bring some of these people on, because some of these A-list people don't want to give their face free, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
That's a rough list there, just an idea of what we're talking about.
I'm just sitting here thinking about some production where we hear from all these people we've been wishing they would talk about the Mandela Effect, and we haven't heard from hardly anybody in 7 years. So I'm just like, I'm envisioning what you're saying, and I'm like, it would be so mind-blowing to question these people like, hey, you said this at this point, and then live you always sing it the way I always knew it. Why did you switch it?
We have a little bit of optimism for reasons I'll just tell you. Like, I didn't mention Mark Hamill, who plays Luke, of course. So Mark Hamill is doing a commercial during the pandemic with Patrick Stewart, and he's doing it for DoorDash. Did you see what they're doing?
No, I haven't seen anything like that.
In the commercial, they play up the idea that they may have got the line wrong. So it's a Mandela Effect. I'm sure if I go to the commercial company, they're going to say, yeah, we were parodying a little bit the Mandela Effect. So he's playing some game with Patrick Stewart, and Patrick Stewart's ribbing him a little bit. And he says something like, I am your father. What? People have to see it. It's very, very interesting how Patrick Stewart and Mark Hamill play up this, and you can get the commercial, stick it on.
I think I actually seen it. Yep, I think I actually seen it.
And so I can call Mark Hamill. I can say, Mark, come on. You know why we want you on, right? The commercial, come on.
There's a Saturday Night Live clip of Mark Hamill. I want to say it's back in the 90s.
Oh, yeah, I know that one. Yeah.
Have you seen that one?
Yeah,
and then someone calls into the show and they say, hey, I want to buy this guy, or something like that. And they're selling Mark Hamill as a merchandise, some kind of merchandise, right? And so he says, hey, have the guy say, Luke, I am your father. And then they're like, so Mark says, I didn't say that. Darth Vader said that. They're like, come on, Hamill, just say it. And then he's like, all right, Luke, I am your father. So he's saying that also, not just James Earl Jones.
I saw that a while back. If you could resend it to me, I want to see that again. Yes, you're right. That's the kind of thing.
Yeah, he's on record on SNL saying, Luke, I am your father, him as well.
So to give a little bit of optimism that we'll be able to get people like this on, they've already committed their own little awareness of it. James Earl Jones clearly is aware. There's no doubt. They're probably waiting for the phone to ring and say, why did they ask me about this already? So I hope that's true. We're going to see, give it our best shot and see what happens. We're going to try to get everybody I'm mentioning and then some.
Okay, so real quick, I want to do this maybe just for 1 minute. I just want to kind of do like a lightning round. I've always wanted to do this. I've never done it with anybody, so I just wanted to just go real quick through some things. And so,
I'm ready.
okay, great.
You're tough, Evan. You're a
Well,
tough interview.
Let's see. Okay, are you familiar with bizarre foods?
No.
Andrew. Okay.
No.
FAO, big toy
Schwartz.
company. Schwartz.
FAO Schwartz.
Now, do you think? Wait. Do you think you could spell Schwartz? That's what we're talking about here.
They spell it with a WZ. I know that now, but it's supposed to be Jewish.
So, can you spell
FAO
Schwartz?
Schwartz.
Can you spell Schwartz?
SCHWARTZ.
Right on. You got it wrong. That's how I always knew it my whole life.
So, by the way, I could spell Schwartz wrong and still be right about the Jewish connection.
Oh, no. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the spelling of the last name is a Mandela Effect.
It's Schwartz. Like a Jewish Schwartz.
It's FAOSCHWARZ. It's Schwartz.
No, I get that now. There's no
Okay,
Schwartz.
there's no T.
I get that. It's not Schwartz anymore. It's Schwartz. I don't even know
Schwarz,
what that
right.
is.
The T's gone, but there was always a T. It wasn't Schwarz.
Do you
So-
understand in New York, especially where there's a large Jewish community in New York City, and I mean other places in Long Island, we would have been all over Schwarz. We would have been like, aha, like when they're afraid to say they're Jewish. I see what they're doing. We would have been all over that. We would have been like they're trying to hide they're Jewish. It's
Yeah.
nuts. When I heard about the Mandela Effect, FAO Schwartz, I lost it that day. That was another big one for me.
Huge. Are you familiar with Laurel and Hardy?
I am.
They have a famous catchphrase that they use. It's, well, here's another something mess you've gotten us into.
Here's another fine mess you've got me into, Ollie.
Awesome. I'm so happy you said
Here's
that.
another fine mess.
I'm so happy you said that. They even have a movie, Another Fine Mess. That's the title of a movie they did.
I'm
Well,
not surprised. In my world, that would make sense.
are you ready to hear what it always has
I'm going to
been?
start crying. Let's go.
Well, here's another nice mess. It's always nice mess. Anything you go watch of those men, they'll never
Another
say
nice
fine
mess?
mess. Never said fine mess, ever. I've seen compilations of their catchphrase and like 10 times in a row. It's nice mess, nice mess, nice mess. There's no
Why would
fine
they
mess
do-
at all, ever.
While we're making this movie, it's why we got to make it. This is beyond.
Insane. All right, just a few more here.
That's a big one.
Oh, Cliff Notes. Did you ever use those back in high school?
It has to be Cliff. Let me tell you why I know it's Cliff Notes. In like a sports show I'm watching lately, they do the Cliff Notes. They actually are parodying this person, Cliff. It's Cliff Notes. CLIFF. Cliff Notes.
That's how I always knew it. Always knew it.
We would cheat book reports by going to the Cliff Notes. You think we're not going to remember that?
Yeah. Now, apparently, in this reality, it's always been Cliff's notes. They're like the notes that
tell you
belong to
something.
Cliff.
When I hear these Mandela effects, like you say it to me, I want to scream, but I'm turning it into creative passion and making a documentary movie. But I want to scream. Cliff Notes might be bigger than any of the other ones you can mention to me. Because as a kid in New York, you're waking up and you're doing your book reports and I don't want to cheat by getting the Cliff Notes.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to ask you this. Okay, so moving on in this lightning round here, Bob, you're doing great. I really like the answers because they match
Lightning
my
round.
lifelong memory.
The lightning. Okay, I'm ready.
I was thinking that you would be familiar with a psychic named John. His last name starts with E. He's written books. He's been on television. John
Edwards?
Great answer, Bob. John Edwards. He's always been John
Talks of the Dead.
Edward.
Talks of the Dead.
Edward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Always
me.
been John Edward. No S.
I think it's John Edwards.
Yeah. Always had an S for me.
A guy
Oh.
thought about being real or not and being a fake or not, and my memory is Edwards.
Have we ever discussed airplanes?
Not to my knowledge.
Because this is huge. Okay, so you're sitting in the airplane and you're looking out at the wings. How much of the engine, the jet engine, would you expect to see poking out beyond the front of the wing? You're sitting right inside the fuselage looking out the wing. How much of the engine comes beyond the wing, like pushing like out in front of the wing?
Just the round part.
So maybe 15% of the engine, 10,
Yeah,
15,
just
20?
a little bit, just to be able to, justify its aerodynamic positioning and all that. Yeah, I've been on the wing many times.
Okay.
Not going very far back, and as we know from the Twilight Zone episode with Captain Kirk later on, you see that a lot too in that episode. You see where the engine is, and you can see literally where the engine is in 1960 something. It doesn't change very much. The engine is it. If you remember, the little gremlin throws something into the middle of the engine, so he's hanging a little bit over the wing, and he's throwing something into the engine circle part. He's always he's reaching maybe 15, 20 inches, maybe, maybe 2 feet, maybe, because the plane's big. Maybe it's 2 feet, maybe 3 feet, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to show you something here because I think it's important that I wasn't planning on doing this, but I think it's important that we show
I
this.
vaguely remember someone mentioning this in one of the videos a long time ago, like 2000.
This is an absolute mind-blowing.
I know it's coming. I know. I see the vision of what's about to come. I've seen the. I haven't been on a plane in a while since the pandemic broke, so I don't know. Maybe I'm.
Well, you're
remembering.
Yeah, misremembering something you never knew that way.
My plane
before.
flights.
So the way you described the engine with just the round part out in front is how I've always known them my whole life.
I'd like to believe so.
Yeah, that's how I've always known the engines. I'm trying to find a good image here so I can.
It goes
well,
really
here.
far.
This is an excellent image. So let me share this.
It freaked me out. I know, because it did, by the way, in 2017 or so, when someone showed me this. I remember it freaked me out.
And this is how pretty much all 747s, 57s, like all the major big airplanes, and this goes back pretty much to the 70s, 80s. Always been this way. It's not some new design
Probably
as of
60.
a few years ago or anything.
Check out the 20,000 feet episode with William Shatner on the Twilight Zone. The whole movie, the whole episode is based on the wing.
Oh yeah, we'll have to check that out.
The entire episode, but
we'll have to check that out.
Yeah, but I would tell you right now, the gremlin, whatever he is, the little freak, whatever this little monster is, he's throwing stuff into the engine by putting his arm just over the wing into the engine. So I don't have to even see it. I know what the gremlin's doing. He's a tiny guy with a little arm. And I don't think that's a change very much, by the way, since the 60s. I don't. The engine's still got to be aerodynamically close to the place it would be.
Okay, so this is the way. I understand this might be hard to look at, and I don't even know if you're going to believe me.
There's no way planes I've been on look like that. That's the front.
Yeah, that's in front of the wing. They hang out almost 95%.
Nope.
Yeah, I think we probably stop this now because I understand, when I started learning about the Mandela Effect, it was slow. We learned about new changes.
Me if I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, so I think, I'll let this digest. I hope you look at some images after this.
I have an airline pilot I'm going to talk to, a friend of mine, an airline pilot who I'm going to talk to about this.
No, that's totally wrong. It was never this way.
I'm going to use, let me take a screenshot of this. I'm going to use a screenshot of this. Hold on. Talk to my friend about this tomorrow. I'm going to do it. I want him to see that. He's a U.S. air pilot for 25 years.
It just doesn't even seem right with the exhaust, going across the wing. To me, the exhaust was at the back of the wing.
Oh, let me tell you something. If I saw that, Evan, if I was sitting in my chair, I'd think the engines are falling off. I'd call the flight attendant. and I say, what the fuck? My engines are falling off this plane. How is that even attached to the wing?
It's like hung out in front of the wing on some big bracket.
See that little X there you got there? Did you see that X that came up? Was that you?
What's that?
You just had
right here. Yeah.
Right where the metal turns to red, a little past there, that's what I would see sticking out from the under it.
100%.
Or maybe a little further back where that weird little spot is over here, a little further back. Yeah, there. A little further back, maybe a little bit. That's it. The rest is under the wing.
That's my memory my entire life, Bob. It's totally mind-blowing. This here is totally mind-blowing. This here makes you, there's a guy, he goes by the name of Blaze. He's been making videos over in Japan. He's an American guy, lives in Japan. And his dad was a pilot, or he was around planes his whole life. He pointed this out. He's the first person I know to point this out. And I heard it in a live stream. And I ran and made a video on it. This was like 4 or 5 years ago. And I already knew about the Mandela Effect. I'd already been making videos.
Is there something happened? Okay. You made your point, Evan.
I don't understand what happened here.
But you made your point on the plane engines. I'm freaking right now. I am totally freaking right now.
Yeah, the plane engines just, I know that's wrong. It just doesn't look right at all. That's always bothered me a lot.
I'm bringing in the people. I'm bringing in the people that know this stuff, like airline pilots and whatnot.
So I guess that's about it. I mean, we've gone over enough stuff. I was hoping that you would have my memories, and you share my memories and the community's memories on a lot of these things.
Well,
and it's just mind-blowing.
I am one of the community. I happen to be a producer, writer, director, but I am one of you. And I think you've proved that here in this discussion you and I have had. So my goal is to bring the world into it with the rest of us and see what they think. And
so I think we should tie this up. Any last things you want to mention about the documentary that's about to go into production?
In our world, and in what we're trying to do in our documentary movie, we're trying to pull the rest of the world into the Mandela Effect reality that everybody who has these YouTube channels and TikTok videos and all the people that have been trying to get the world aware of this, we're going to do our best now to bring the rest of the world into it and show the evidence of why YouTubers and TikTokers and all the other Mandela Effect interested people on Reddit and Twitter and wherever else, they'll realize they're not crazy, they're not eccentric, this is real, and we're going to try to point to some of the possible reasons this is happening. And I know you have your feelings, Evan. I want to say, if it's okay, Evan's going to be in the documentary. Evan's going to be there. And we can't wait to add in all the other people, celebrities, experts, people who have been studying the Mandela Effect since it emerged. And one last thing. It was you who showed me recently, Evan, that Art Bell, who I was on several times with him and George Norrie, and different times for my television work at Fox and NBC Universal. When I went on Art Bell around 2000, I had no idea that about that time, shortly after 9/11, it appears, Art Bell had a show on where somebody was saying that they remember Mandela dying in prison, and then Art Bell talking about memory weirdnesses like this, and it's a phenomenon, which seems to indicate that it wasn't the person who claimed to discover this. It wasn't as unique as we thought. It's been going on for a while. And whether or not it was caused a little bit by CERN or quantum computers activating or whatever over the last decade or more, you can't deny that someone back in 2001, Art Bell and his people, he had on the little show that night, were talking about something just like the Mandela Effect. And even that Mandela was the focus. Pretty amazing.
Right. Yep. This has been happening, some people say, since the 70s, since 80s. It might have always been happening. It's just we didn't have a way like the internet to exchange notes like we're doing here. So prior to the internet, who would you go tell? Like your parents? Like, hey, this was this. And, well, I don't remember that. They just blow you off. So,
and last but not least, if anybody wants to call me up directly or email me and set up a phone call to talk about the investment opportunity and what it means and how the specifics work and if they can invest a little less and still be part of it, absolutely. Love to hear from you. Love your support. We're going to do everything we can for the community, and know we are behind you, and we know this is not a joke. This is real, and we're going to show it in all its glory.
thank you, Bob. Thanks for joining me today. We'll have the information down below, everyone. That's it. Go create the reality that you want, and we'll be back with everybody soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Thanks again, Bob.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.